Hello. Welcome back for another episode of Dear Source, your ascendancy hotline. I want to welcome everybody in. Thank you for all the likes, comments, subscribes. I appreciate all the love and support. And I send it out into the universe that whoever needs to receive these messages are finding them. So please continue to share. Please continue to write in. This really is just an opportunity to engage and get a different perspective. So without any further ado, we are going to jump right in. So today, the letter reads, Dear Source, I'm struggling with my body image for as long as I can remember. In the past, I battled eating disorders, and while I've overcome those, the feeling that my body is never good enough has stayed with me. It's like no matter what I do, I can't shake the belief that I need to be perfect to feel worthy. I work out 5 to 6 days a week, but even then, I constantly feel like it's not enough. I look in the mirror and pick myself apart, focusing on every perceived flaw. Recently, I started using Ozempic to help me reach that ideal body I've been chasing for so long. But even now, with all these efforts, I still feel like I'm falling short. It's like no matter how much I change on the outside, the inside remains stuck in this cycle of never feeling good enough. How do I break free from this mindset? How do I stop chasing perfection and learn to accept myself for who I am? I thought by now I'd feel more confident, but instead I feel more lost than ever. Sincerely, chasing perfection, but losing myself. So thank you for that beautiful letter that you wrote in. And I think it's such a, I don't think you're alone in this struggle. I think there's many of us, I think especially with the way that society portrays beauty and health and wellness, that I think the vast majority of us in our human experience are chasing the impossible. We are chasing the perfection when the reality is that we're already perfect. And the reality that we are so divinely and perfectly and fiercely made. Our own DNA within all the ancient languages spells God eternal within the body. And our body is a temple. Our body is a temple to house our souls. And how we take care of that is equally as important as to all the other things that we do. Everything that we do is related to our consciousness. It's related to our sense of divinity. Do we see ourselves as divine? Do we see ourselves as an emanation of God himself? That the only way God could experience himself was to be manifest in each one of us. And I think that's such a powerful reminder that we are here on the greatest love story that we are embarking upon is the love story to fall deeply and madly and completely and totally in love with ourselves. To when we feel the imperfection, to understand where is that idea coming from, because that idea is not coming from source itself. If we firmly believe that, we are reaffirming it. So if I believe I'm imperfect and flawed, well, I'm going to constantly be finding flaws within myself. We are the creators of our universe. So the universe can only give back to us what we believe about ourselves. If we believe that we are divine, if we believe that we are perfect, if we believe that we are whole and complete, if we believe all those things are true, that we are God eternal within this body, then our body is going to reflect that back to us. Our world is going to reflect that back to us. And if we think about any of those activities that we do, whether it's what the writer wrote in about, whether it's obsessive working out, whether that's bulimia or anorexia, whether it's being obsessed with counting our food, anything, when we think about what energy is that coming from, it's typically coming from a place of lack. And I can't say that for everybody, but you have to really dive in to where is that stemming from? Why do I feel like the next thing that I need to do in order to achieve this state of perfection is now maybe to take a drug to make me slim down, paralyze my intestinal tract so that I don't digest food and I'm never hungry. And ultimately, we're poisoning our body. What is that godly? And that's what we have to ask ourselves. And why are we doing that? What part of you needs to be healed? Is it a sense of, out of fear and control? Is it out of a sense of attachment to a desired outcome? And when you're not achieving that, then you're upset or angry with yourself. And maybe you take that out on yourself by, I'm going to do an extra workout, or I'm going to not eat, or I'm going to maybe purge, whatever it might be. There's an underlying cause that's linked to our ego. Like I say this all the time to my mom, and it's like when we fix our souls, when we really do the soul work and we really understand the divinity of who we are, that's when we're going to heal the world. And we're going to heal the world by each and every one of us finding the divinity within ourselves, finding the divinity in the truth of who we are, and to know that we are divine. Like, what if we took all the money from all those industries because each and every one of us believed that we were perfectly made, and we were honoring the temple of our body by putting things within it to honor that temple? That might be organic fruits and vegetables. That might be organic milk from your local dairy. That might be fresh eggs from the local farm. Whatever we're doing, everything that we put into our body has an energy and has our frequency. And when we ingest that, whatever it might be, whether that's drugs, alcohol, prescription drugs, processed foods, all of it has a frequency. And if it's a low vibrational frequency, if we're putting poison into our bodies, well, our frequency is not going to be very high. That's just how it works. So when you think of like, what do people of high frequencies eat? If you were to look at the diet of Jesus, he was eating, figs and, nuts and things produced of the earth. We are one with the universe. We are the universe. The universe is perfectly made, just like our bodies are perfectly made. Our body, every cell in our body knows exactly what to do to replicate itself, to reproduce itself without there being any thought to it. There's a natural intelligence to the universe, just like the entire reality in which we live is also divinely perfect and made. It's insanely crazy how perfect it is. So, what are things that align with the vibration that you want to be? Are you putting things in your body to honor that? Are you honoring your body and your temple by doing things that make it feel good when it comes to exercise and movement? You know, punishing ourselves to the point where we're breaking down our bodies is not honoring our temple. That's not why we were made. So we're here to honor our temple. We are here to honor our body. Everything that we do is a reflection of our consciousness. If we're choosing things that are not honoring our highest frequency, let's ask ourselves why. Why? Where is that stemming from? What part of me is lacking? What part of me do I need to go find and bring love to and remind that you are the divine? You know, as we balance our healing and do the healing work, we have to bring the two polarities, the divine masculine and the divine feminine, into the equation. And the divine feminine is that kind of essentially, you know, feeling the emotions, sitting in those emotions, acknowledging where you feel that. And the masculine is then the opening of the windows to let that emotion or that water out, to remind ourselves that we are divine. That is not true. And I really feel that in today's day and age, we are in a fight for the divinity of who we are. We are in a fight for a remembrance that we are God eternal within the body. We are in a fight to remove from ourselves all the toxins, all the poisons. We're also here to come into right relationship with everything. And there's nothing wrong with any of those things. It's just, where do they belong? Do they belong within our bodies? Heavy metal doesn't belong in my body. My body wasn't designed to process heavy metals. My body was designed to enjoy the apple off the apple tree. So think about, how are you honoring yourself? What everything that we do is an honoring. Am I honoring myself in my workout? Am I honoring my body? Or am I in there punishing my body because it's not good enough? I got to get my 6-pack abs. And if I don't get my 6-pack abs, like, all hell's going to break loose. And then I'm going to turn to something else, going to do something else because I got to get this, because until I get this, like, nothing's ever good enough. You are good enough. We are here to remember our divinity. We are here to remember that we are divine. I know this sounds very simplistic, but that's what we're here to remember. We have been disconnected from the natural intelligence. Our bodies have not disconnected from the natural intelligence that runs them. Every cell knows what to do, where to go, and the same thing. The universe is just a mirror. Just like our bodies are doing that, everything is mirroring. Everything works the same way. Just like an oak tree, like every cell knows where to go, what to do to make that oak tree grow. There's no fighting it. And we're supposed to be in that same type of energy. So today, let's honor our divinity. Today, let's ask ourselves, why am I chasing that? What is that doing for me? Is that an honoring of the temple? Is that honoring God eternal within the body. And let's just fall deeply and madly in love with ourselves, because it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks of us. Although I know we have a lot of that in our society, and it's very easy to say that. To actually live it is it's the paradox. It can be very challenging, but we can also drop into this remembrance and into this moment at any given point in time, because the only time that we have is right now. The only time that exists is the present moment. The past doesn't exist. The future doesn't exist. The past is usually guilt or shame, what pulls us back. The future is a feeling of lack and wanting for something different because we aren't in love with the present moment. Everything you ever want exists right now. The perfect body, the perfect partner, the perfect job, the perfect career, the perfect amount of money, the perfect whatever, all exists here and now. Our whole job is to believe it, to remember it, and to know that it's already done. The word desire means of the Father. There is nothing that you desire that the universe doesn't want to gift you, because that desire came from God himself. So are you honoring God by remembering who you are? That's all we're here to do, is to just remember and hold the frequency that you already are all the things that you think you're seeking, because they actually exist right now. And when we're in the energy of seeking, we're in the energy of lacking, which tells the universe it doesn't exist. So I appreciate the authenticity, the vulnerability of the writer that wrote in Chasing Perfection by Losing Yourself. In each present moment, find yourself, love yourself, enjoy yourself. Moment by moment, all is going to be made manifest into your reality. So I appreciate all the love and light. And with that, I will talk to you guys on Monday. Maybe before that, we might have a surprise episode. Talk to you soon.